So here is our first lesson. Welcome, and let's see how this goes. We're in lesson 8, and our goal is I will be able to relate a fraction of a set to the repeated addition interpretation of fraction multiplication. Yeah, baby. All right, let's get into the first problem here. 2 times 6. We all know that 2 times 6 is 12, but there are different ways that we can interpret the meaning of this expression. I want you to think about that for a second. So hopefully you thought, yes, 2 times 6, but perhaps you also thought 6 times 2, right? We can switch it. 2 groups of 6 or 6 groups of 2. So now let's think about 2/3 times 6. Can we interpret this in 2 different ways just like we did the first one? Hopefully you said yes, we can, right? We can take 2/3 times 6, and we can also think of it as 6 times 2/3. We can switch it around, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to use a tape diagram to find 2/3 of 6. So I want you to go ahead and draw this with me. We have our tape diagram here. Okay, now we need to figure out the whole. The whole would be what? The whole would be 6. Hopefully you said 6. I'm going to put it up here. Okay, now we're looking at our fraction 2/3. Now we're in thirds, so that's what we need to show, thirds. There's 1, and there's 3/3. Now we need to figure out 2. We only care about 2 of them right now. So in order to figure out what this answer is, right, we have to take 6 and put however many evenly in each one. So I like to do 1 here, and 1 here. Am I at 6 yet? No, let me go again. 1 here, and 1 here. Are we at 6 yet? Yes, we are. But I only care about 2 of them. So 6 times 2/3 is 4. All right, so we're going to think about it another way, right? So we still have 2 times 6/3, okay? We're thinking about it in units. We have 3 units, it's equal to 6. 1 unit is equal to 6/3. We're talking about 2 units, so we want to multiply it by 6. 6 times 2/3. So we're going to think about it as repeated addition. So 6/3 plus 6/3, right? We multiplied by 2, we added twice. All right, so I can go ahead and say that it also 2 times 6 over 3, right? So we're just moving the numbers around. So if I want to say, okay, 6 plus 6 is 12 here, but I also know that 2 times 6 is 12, and we get the same answer, 12/3, okay? Now we're going to think of it as 6 groups of 2/3, okay? I want you to write this down. Show me repeated addition of 6 groups of 2/3. You should have gotten something that looks like this, right? 2/3, and you need it 6 times there, okay? Now, I want you to ask yourself, what multiplication expression gave us 12? What are we thinking, right? If you look at all of these 2's here, right, how many do we have? We have 6, right? So 6 times what? 6 times 2 gave us 12. And what are the units we're in? We are in thirds, right? So we can solve it like that, just like we did before, okay? Both of those ways give us the same answer. 6 times 2 is 12 over 3, okay? If you notice, we can reduce here. 3 can go into 12. How many times? 4 times. So our answer is 4. All right? Now, instead of trying to figure out the mixed number, right, here we figured out 12/3 and then to the whole number. There's a step in between that we can use to help us figure out the answer a little bit faster. We can reduce. If you look at 2 times 6 over 3. Now, if I look at 6, and if I look at 3, I know that they have a number in common, right? Always think of smaller numbers Okay, I'm going to keep my 2 there because I'm not doing anything with it, but I do know that 3 can go into both 6 and 3. So I'm going to cross out 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, okay, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. So now my 6 has become a 2, and I'm going to multiply 2 times 2 over 1. Do you have to put the over 1? Not really, but you can put it there if you want to. So what's 2 times 2? It's 4 over 1, which is the same as 4. A little bit faster, but just another way that we can think of it. Either way works. All right, so let's look at this problem. 3/5 times 10. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set it up in this way. 10 times 3 over 5. Okay? So I'm going to think 10 times 3/5. I want you to do that in your head. What is 10 times 3/5? Well, obviously, it's 30 over 5, right? Because if you look here, you have 10 times 3, that's 30, over 5. Okay? So then you ask yourself, how many holes is in that? How many times can 5 go into 30? And we get 6. Okay? Now, remember, we can use the other way as well to figure out this answer. Okay? So we're going to look at the reducing first and then figure out the answer. So 3 and 5, they have nothing in common except for 1. That's not going to help us. But I do know that 10 and 5 have something in common. So 5 can go into 5 one time. 5 can go into 10 2 times. Times 3, or sorry, times 3. I was right. And then I'm going to multiply 2 times 3 is 6. Didn't we just get that? We did. Same answer, different way to do it. All right. I'm not going to go through this, but I'm just going to talk about it. If I wanted to do 7/6 times 24, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put my 24 on top times 7 all over 6. Would it make sense to multiply 24 times 7 in your head? No, not really. You can do it, but there is another way, right? So if I look at 6 and 7, no, they can't go into each other. But I do know that 6 and 24 can be reduced, okay? So you should take 24 and 6, reduce those, multiply, you get your answer. I want you to try this one on your own. You can use either just the multiplication and then reduce later, or you can reduce first and then get your answer. But go ahead and try 5/8 times 28.